Enjoy the show.
And don't forget to like and share this video for Caillou gets grounded mid-episode.
Okay class, since today is the final day that I have to teach you, we are going to study the review for the final exam of history, because next Monday you have a final exam per days until Friday. So, you need to pay attention to the blackboard, because some of the questions of the review history for the final exam in the blackboard might include it in your final exam of history. Now take out your notebook history and write the question that I just wrote in the blackboard.
Oh heck no, not another final exam. I really don't like it and I'm so lazy to study it for final exam to get a good grade of my final exam of history. And next Monday, we have a final exam of history, and I have to study it, because if I don't get a good grade, my parents will ground me for get a bad grade in my final exam of history. Well, maybe if it work if I tell Mrs. Martin to cancel final exam history on Monday. Oh well, let's say it. Hey Mrs. Martin, can you please cancel final exam of history on next Monday? Because I want school end early without any final exam so that I can relax myself if you cancel it.
No Caillou. There's no way I would ever cancel the final exam on all subjects. All school, including all city, must have a final exam, because that is the rules of Go City. And if the final exam or either a text exam are not present in school, this will make you stupid and causes a problem and ruin for your future life. Now stop complain about the final exam and take out your notebook history and write the questions that I just wrote in the blackboard, or you will get detention every day during your final exam starts. You don't want to get detention?
Ugh, fine, whatever. I will take out my history notebook and write the review questions of history that you just wrote in the blackboard, and I don't care if I want to get a detention or not. Besides, I don't want to get crappy detention every day. You always give me detention after school ends or earlier.
That's good. But, you should watch your mouth, because your language is really disrespectful and rude. Okay, but anyway class, now write the question that I wrote in the blackboard. And Caillou, if I see you sleeping or not writing some questions that I wrote in the blackboard, I will send you to the principal's office and you will receive a Christmas school.
Whatever Mrs. Martin.
That's good. Now let's write the questions that I wrote in the blackboard. Okay class, I think the review of the final exam of history ends here. All of you may now go. And don't forget to study review of the final exam of history, because if you got a bad grade on your final exam on all subjects, you will receive a Christmas school until January 2021. And as for you, Caillou, if I grade your final exam of history as F- or I caught you cheating during final exam start, you will automatically get expelled from the school. And you will get a Christmas school until January 2021. Okay?
Yes Mrs. Martin, I will study for the final exam of history for next Monday. I promise I will never get a bad grade of the final exam of history or cheating from the others' answers. Believe me, I won't do these bad things.
That's good to hear Caillou. But anyway class dismissed. Study review of the final exam of history, or you will get a bad grade. Goodbye students, have a nice day, and hope you students had to study hard for the final exam of history.
Okay Caillou, since I heard you have a final exam on next Monday by your teacher, there's no more play games, and you will focus 100% to final exam, and I don't want to get embarrassed by hearing you got all of your final exam subject failed, because you will be grounded if I heard you got all of your subject final exam failed. and I will take away all of the entertainments things that you like if you got all of your subject final exam failed. Now start study for your final exam, but if I catch you play entertainment and not focus to the final exam, I will watch you to study for final exam for the rest of today. Got it?
Okay, Dad, I got it. I will study for the final exam.
That's good to hear. Now I'm leaving. Be sure to study hard for your final exam, or else you will be grounded.
Man, next Monday is going to be my worst day ever, because I no longer have to need play entertainment, and focused almost exclusively to final exam. And I'm gonna be so super extremely doomed if I don't study for final exam, and cheating from the other answers at final exam is 100% won't work, as they just instantly look at me. For example, I tried to cheat Leo's test, but Leo and Sarah caught me cheat on Leo's test, and they report to Mrs. Martin and she will expel me for cheat on Leo's test. And that's the problem why cheating from the other's answer won't work. Maybe I should think it how to pass the final exam aside of cheating from the other's answer. Hey, I have a genius idea how to pass the final exam besides of cheating from the other's answer. I can make an invisible phone and bring it to school, so that Mrs. Martin can't see me carrying an invisible phone, including my friends, Leo, Sarah and Clementine, and this is the only way that it will possible to pass my final exam and get an A+, instead of cheating from the other's answer in order to pass final exam. Ha 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 ha. And yet, making an invisible phone is quite difficult to create, because it is required a chemical lab. Oh well, I should search the science lab of myself. But first, I need to take my phone, then escape from this room through the window, and then I will find a science lab to create an invisible phone. Ooh, my phone was still in my drawer, and my parents didn't take my phone away if final exam was about to start. I'm so lucky. Now I'm going to escape from this room through the window before my parents caught me. Oh crap, here we go again. Wait, did I just fall myself without getting any hurts? I can't believe this is the first time that I fall down myself without getting any hurts. Thank you God. I was very lucky today. Now I'm going to the science lab to create an invisible phone to cheat for final exam on next Monday. I'm so excited. Yay, I finally found the science lab by myself. This is my most lucky day ever. I can't wait to make an invisible phone inside of that science lab. But wait a second, I'm not sure if there's a lot of scientists in that science lab, because I aware that if we go inside that science lab, they will kick me out, because I'm not part of the scientist of that lab.
Hey you kids, what are you doing in here? This place was supposed to be scientists' work only, and any kids are not allowed in here. Now get out of here. You are not allowed in this lab.
Well, I'm so scared right now when I enter that science lab, because some scientists in that science lab is going to kick me out from that science lab if I enter that lab. But, since I'm brave enough to do this, maybe I can enter to the lab without any fearful. Alright Caillou, you can do this. You can enter to that science lab without any fearful. Oh my god, I really hate this moment. I surely that all scientists aren't in that lab yet. Maybe they aren't here because they are late, I guess. Wait, I thought this lab has a lot of scientists to work in here, and yet, there's no scientists in this lab. Wow, I'm super mega extremely lucky, and you know what this means. Time to make an invisible phone in here. My plan is now begin. Ha 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 ha. But first, I need to find my phone in my pocket, then put it in that table. Step 1, checked. Now next step, find a book how to make an invisible objects. Since this lab have a lot of books in the bookshelf, now, I'm going to find it. I wonder where's the science book how to make an invisible book. It must be here somewhere. Aha, bingo, I finally found the book how to make an invisible phone. Now I'm going to take that book. Book how to make an invisible objects, checked. Now I'm going to bring this book to the science lab and start how to make an invisible objects. Ha 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 ha. This is going to be so much fun to make an experience of how to make an invisible objects. Alright, now let's see this book, and I'm going to read what's the ingredients that I need in order to create an invisible object. Aha, I think this one that I've been looking for, and there's an ingredients in order to create an invisible object potion. Okay, now let's see what's the ingredients that I need in order to create an invisible potion. Okay. So I need to create an invisible potion are 1 green chemical, 1 aura silver, and 1 ink, and all of them will pour it to the glass potion to make an invisible potion. And I think it's very easy to take all of these ingredients to make an invisible potion, since the science lab have a full collection of chemicals type. Alright, now without further any delays, let's take some chemicals and start to create an invisible potion. Okay, everything is now set and ready. I can't wait to start project of making an invisible potion. Let's get start to create an invisible potion, shall we? Okay, let's get start to make an invisible potion. Ha 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 ha. First, I need to pour a green potion to this chemical glass. Next, pour this aura silver potion to the chemical glass. And last, but not least, an ink bottle. Time to pour this thing to the chemical, and after that, it's completed, and I will pour this to my phone if it's really invisible or not. This chemical is about to explode. Oh my god, that was a horrible experience of making an invisible potion. Is it completed or not? Let me check. Wait a second. Hey, my project of making the invisible potion is completed and done. I can't believe I'm doing this without anyone help me to make this project. This is my best and lucky day ever in my life. Okay, now since this invisible potion is finished, I'm going to the lab and test it to drop this potion to my phone to see if it really invisible or not. I'm so excited. Yay, let's do that. Well, I hope this potion will really invisible if I pour this to my phone, because if it doesn't work, then my plan will be failed. Oh well, here goes nothing.
Yay! Yay! Now, hey! It turns out it's finally worked. I thought this was going to be failed if I pour this to my phone. Look at, it turns into invisible. Wow, this is my best day ever in my life. I wish I can do this again, but I have a plan about something else.
Unfortunately, it is not going to work if I bring my phone like this to school on Monday, because my phone is now invisible. It is difficult to pick this phone. And I even don't know how to find my phone whenever I drop in some places. This is one of the problems that I have now. I should think it how to make my phone into visible again after getting invisible. Maybe Go Animate Logic can turn my phone visible again after it's invisible. Okay, let's do this. Go Animate Logic, please let me in. I want to know what type of the remote it is after my phone is getting invisible. Go Animate Logic, activated. Huh, what's this? A remote button. Let me guess. This must be used for an invisible object, right? Oh well, let me visible my phone. I just don't know if this works or not. I will set this as invisible for my phone, since my phone is now invisible. Well, I think nothing happens. It's kinda pointless. Wait, is that a phone that is now turned into a visible? Oh my god, it's actually worked. I thought there's nothing happen, but my phone is now turned into a visible. Wow, this is my best day ever in my life. This remote is actually useful for an invisible objects, especially for school, where I'm going to cheat at using this phone for my final exam on next Monday. But wait, I don't think it will be work when I have final test on next Monday. Because after I set my phone as a visible, my friends and teacher will realize that I cheated final exam by using this phone, and my teacher will expel me if I cheating final exam. Oh well, it looks like there's no way to pass for my final exam if my phone is set as visible. I wonder where's the way that I could pass this final exam. Huh, what's the other option that has invisible or visible option? An opacity. I never heard of that button before. But I don't know how to use it. Well, maybe I should try to use opacity. I don't know what opacity option for. Well, let me try it. Perhaps I can pick random numbers of opacity. Then I pick invisible for my phone. And I will press this red button, to see how it looks like. Oh, I think opacity might be useful too. Because if I set this opacity into a random number, then I set my phone as invisible, and pressed red button, it can still be seen. Oh my god, I didn't know that opacity was also usable to cheat for final exam on next Monday. But wait, I'm not sure if this opacity was absolutely properly working or not, because I aware that my teacher and my friends still sees my phone if I set invisible and set opacity numbers. Well, I think there's only way that I need to do this. I decide to call Dora to help me about the opacity, so she can help me if the opacity numbers was really working or not after I set my phone as an invisible. Okay, now I'm going home, but first, I need to keep these things, remote up invisible and my phone, because if my parents sees this, they will realize that I have got these things and they will begin to suspicious on me. Now I have to go home quick before my parents calls the police to find me and bring me home, and they will ground me. Now I'd better get the heck out of here before some scientists caught me and they will call my parents to pick me up and they will ground me. Alright, now all of the things that I need is now in here. Thank God I didn't get caught by scientists in that lab, because if they caught me, they will call my parents to pick me up and they will ground me if they hear about that. But there's no more time to talk about this. I need to call Dora to help me if the opacity option was really work or not. Alright, now I'm going to call her. Come on Dora, I hope you will answer it.
Hi Caillou. What's up?
I'm doing fine, Dora. And, would you mind if you want to go to my house for something? Because there's something that I want to help you.
Why Caillou? What do you want to ask me go to your house for?
Just come, Dora. I really need to do this now. Because this is very important for me. Because if you don't come to my house, then this would lead to my project failed. I want you to come right now, Dora.
Okay Caillou, I will on the way to your house to help you for something. Okay, now I'm going to hang up. Be patient while I'm on the way to your house to help you for something.
Okay, Dora. Hope you will arrive in my house soon. Bye. Okay, now Dora is on the way to my house to help me for something. Oh well, I should wait until she arrives.
Hey Caillou, it's me, Dora. Open the window please. And you say I want to help you for something. Open please.
Well, I'm glad that Dora come to my house in a time. Okay, Dora, I will open the window. Hey Dora, I'm glad you made it to my house in time. If you didn't here in time, then I would have to deal this with myself, which is very hard to do this task.
Yeah Caillou. I'm here to help you. What are you going to do for? So anyway Caillou, what do you want to ask me to help you for?
Well, the reason why I asked you here because of this button, Dora. This is why I need you to help me, so I can check whether or not it is invisible or not.
Oh, I see. You asked me here because you want me to help you about this. But, I never sees that button before. And Caillou, how did you get that and what are you gonna use that for?
This button that I got is from Go Animate Logic, and I use this because I will determine if the object was really invisible or not. But in other words, I will use this button machine on next Monday, since next Monday has a final test for me.
Wait. You use that button machine to cheat for the final exam on next Monday, right?
Yes, Dora. I will use this machine to cheat for the final exam on next Monday, without studying of any subjects.
Wow Caillou. That is the most genius idea that you come up with. I also have a plan to cheat for the final exam on next Monday, but sadly Caillou, my idea how to cheat for the final exam on next Monday is completely scrapped because of my mom. Because she keep asking me what's going on in my room, and my mom searched in my room, and she realized that she saw me build an idea of how to pass final exam without studying.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Dora, but my mom, dad, or either my sister Rosie didn't caught me like this whenever I make an idea how to do, because if they caught me like this, then they will take away these things for the rest of my life, and my plan will completely scrapped and failed, and I don't want my parents or sister come to my room, because if they see me like this, they will ground me for life.
Well, I'm glad to hear your parents and sister Rosie didn't come to your room for something. Otherwise your project how to cheat for the final exam will be failed.
I agreed with you, Dora. Hope my parents or Rosie didn't come to my room for something. But anyway, Dora, there's no more time to chat in here. I need you to help me.
Well Caillou, I'm here to help you for something, so you don't need to ask me to hear, 'cause I already hear. So, what do you want to ask me to help you for?
Okay, Dora, I will show you. Did you see that phone in my bed?
Yes Caillou, and what are you gonna show me that phone for?
Okay, Dora, I will show you how it works. Okay, Dora, now I press this button machine. Okay, Dora, now you should check that phone again. Did you see it?
No Caillou, I didn't see that phone. It just disappeared recently.
Oh my god, it has actually worked. The opacity is useful for people, because they didn't see my phone whenever I set my phone as invisible and pick a random numbers of opacity option. Wow, I'm so lucky. Wow, Dora, you actually helped me with this task, and it's finally worked. Thank you, Dora, for helping me to assist with me of this task. because if you don't come to my house to help me with this problem, then I'm gonna be so doomed, and I might fail to do this of myself, because it is hard to do this myself. Thank you, Dora.
No problem, Caillou.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh no, my dad just opened the door, and someone just coming. I hope it wasn't your parents, Dora.
Because if my parents comes to your house, then I'm gonna be grounded and I never see your house again after I got grounded. I don't want to get grounded by my parents.
Oh, hey Elena, what's up?
Hello Boris, have you seen my daughter Dora? Because she just escaped from her room once again. Oh no, I hope Dora will not marry with Caillou again after we told them that they are not allowed to get married. Because if they married again, then I would have to give Dora a 6th punishment day for disobeying me. And, would you mind if I can go to your son's Caillou to see if Dora was in there or not?
Okay Elena, you can check in my son's room, and I hope they're not going to marry again. And I also give my son a punishment day if he married with Dora again. And, if your daughter is there, while my son is in his room, contact me so I will ground my son after you go home with Dora.
Okay Boris. I will.
Oh crap. It's my mom. She's about to come here to check if we're planned to get married or not. We are in big trouble, and Caillou, you should hide that button machine immediately before my mom comes here to pick me up.
You don't have to ask me the question. I just going to buy this button machine so my dad and your mother weren't suspicious of this thing. But anyway, I need to hide this thing quick before your mother comes here and pick you up.
Dora, you'd better not have a plan to marry with Caillou again. Otherwise you will get a 6th punishment day if you marry with Caillou. I seriously mean it. Dora, where have you been? I've been looking for you about 2 hours. And I can't believe you escaped from your room once again. This is the 2nd time you just escaped from your room without permission and while you're still grounded. But in other words, what are you doing in Caillou's room? And please don't tell me you and Caillou having a wedding event again. Or else, I will give you a 6th punishment day if you marry with Caillou again.
Well Mom, I'm not here to marry with Caillou. I just come here to help Caillou study subjects for the final exam on next Monday. And, we already study subjects for the final exam. And, I will go home, since we already study subjects for the final exam on next Monday.
Well Dora, you don't have to go to Caillou's house to study each other for the final exam. Besides, you can either study subjects for the final exam on your own. And even after you study subjects for the final exam on next Monday, you still get a bad grade. It doesn't matter if you study with people who once. Because you'll still get a bad grade if you do that. But you're still grounded for not informing me to go to Caillou's house to study for the final exam. Come on Dora, let's go home. And when we get home, I will call Diego to watch over you study for the final exam for the rest of today. And Caillou, I will report this to your dad about inviting my daughter to your house to study for the final exam. Come on Dora. What are you waiting for? Let's go home right now.
Goodbye Caillou, I have to go home right now, and I cannot see you again for the rest of today. Bye Caillou.
Bye Dora. Hope I will see you again someday. And thank you for help me by the way.
Well Caillou, it looks like you are now getting punished today, and I can't believe you invite Dora to your room to study each other for the final exam on next Monday. You can just study subject on yourself for the final exam, not just asking your friends to help you study for the final exam. And it doesn't matter. Even if you study enough with your friends for the final exam, you still get a bad grade. That's it. You are now grounded for 6 months. Now go back to study history, and I don't want you to being lazy for study the final exam of history. Start now, or you will even more grounded for 1 year.
Well, at least my dad didn't seize my phone in the bed, since my phone is now set as invisible. But in other words, I can bring this button machine to the school, and set my phone as an invisible. So my friends and Mrs. Martin didn't caught me using phone to cheat for the final exam on next Monday. Ha 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 ha.
Caillou, wake up. Don't you know today is your final exam? Wake up. You don't want to be late for final exam. I don't want to repeat this. You will have to take care of this. So I don't care if you need me to take you to the school. Your mom is now in the car to wait for you. Now wake up, and I don't want to hear a warning from your teacher for being late for final exam.
Oh man. Today is going to be my worst day ever, because today is the final exam of history, and of course I will get a bad grade of the final exam of history, because yesterday I didn't study history for final exam. I'm gonna be so doomed and my parents will ground me if I failed history of the final exam. But hey, there's still another way to pass the final exam of history. Since I made an invisible phone and got a remote invisible button by using Go Animate logic in last Friday, I will bring those items to the school, and set my phone as invisible and pick a random numbers of opacity, so my friends and Mrs. Martin didn't know that I was using my phone to cheat for the final exam. Ha 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 ha. Okay, now I'm going to take a remote invisible button in my phone. Alright, now I already take my phone and remote invisible button. I'm going to keep these things to my pocket, and I will use these things when I'm at school. Ha 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 ha. Alright, now I'm going to keep my phone and remote invisible button. And I'd better go to school or else my teacher will suspending or expel me if I late from final exam. Wait for me, Mom. I need to go to school and I don't want to be late for final exam. Please, Mom. Start the car quick. Ha 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 ha. I can't wait to cheat for the final exam of history by using an invisible phone, and I will pass my history of the final test.
Okay, Caillou, now we're at the school, and make sure you get a good grade on history of the final exam, otherwise I will be embarrassed by hearing you got a bad grade on history of the final exam. Get it, Caillou?
Okay, Mom. I promise I will get a good grade in history of the final exam.
That's I want to hear. I have to go right now, Caillou. Be sure to study hard before the final exam begins. Goodbye, Caillou. I love you.
Okay, now I already in the school, and before I enter to my classroom, I will need to take out my phone and the remote invisible button, and I will set my phone as invisible and pick a random numbers, and start to cheat the history for the final exam. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm going to take out my phone and remote invisible button. Alright, now these things are ready, it's time to set my phone as invisible and pick a random numbers of the opacity. Okay, my phone is now invisible and still be able to see it. I'm going to keep this remote in my pocket and start cheat the history of the final exam. I can't wait to cheat the history of the final exam. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm going to keep this remote to my pocket. Now I'm going to enter to my classroom.
Hello again, class. I hope all of you are already study hard for the final exam since last Friday. And I know all of you are waiting for the final exam. So today is the final exam of history, and tomorrow will be final exam of math. So be sure to study math for tomorrow. And I know that the math of final exam is quite difficult to pass, but you can study hard as possible. But before I begin this final exam, I want to speak with Caillou. Caillou, I surely that you didn't study final exam of history, is that correct? Tell me now.
Mrs. Martin, I actually studied for final exam of history last Friday, and I studied hard of the final exam of history. Trust me, I was studied history for the final exam last Friday. I swear, I was going to pass this final exam, and when you grading my final exam of history, and if I failed, what are you going to do of my final exam of history?
Well, I will automatically tear your final exam of history if I found out that you didn't study history, but you actually history for the final exam. Okay, now you said that you studied history for the final exam, and if I found out your final exam of history is failed, then this is your responsible for not study the history. There, that's our decision if you failed the history of the final exam. Deal to tear your final exam of history if you failed that subject of the final exam?
Deal. I understand that my final exam of history will be teared if I failed of the history of final exam.
Okay, deal. But anyway class, I'm going to share all of the final exam of history paper sheet, so, all of your books must be kept in the bag, and no one will be allowed to open the history book until the time of history final exam is over. Unless if you want to make tidy of text, you can put book in the table if you want to make texts more tidy, as long it is not history book. Alright, now let's the final exam of history start. Okay class, the final exam of history is now begin. Good luck to get a good grade of your history final exam. And Caillou, if I caught you make a noise during the final exam of history or cheating from the other students' answers, I will automatically tear your final exam of history. And you will get expelled and receive a Christmas school, and even if you done with the Christmas school, you still not be allowed back to school again. Get it?
Yes, Mrs. Martin. I promise I will never cause any troubles.
Good. Now if you excuse me, I'm going to the canteen to eat some breakfast, because I really forgot to eat breakfast. As all I do in the morning is rush to writing the questions for the final exam of history, because I don't have time to write the questions for the final exam of history, and I feel hungry right now. Okay, now I'm going to the canteen to eat some breakfast. And don't cause any trouble while I'm gone, especially you Caillou. If I already eat the breakfast and you just cause a lot of troubles after I eat the breakfast, I will send you to the principal's office and you will get expelled from the school. Get it?
Yes, Mrs. Martin. I promise I will not cause any troubles while you're gone.
That's what I want to hear. Okay students, I think I should go to the canteen right now. Don't cause any trouble, or else I will send you to the principal's office.
Alright, now here's my chance. I'm going to take out my invisible phone to cheat the history of the final exam, and I will pass the final exam of history, and I surely that no one will ever caught me cheating the final exam of history. Ha 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 ha.
Hey Caillou, why are you playing with your hand during the final exam of history?
I just going to think the answer, so I just going to play with my hands in order to get the answers of these questions.
Oh okay, I hope you will get a good grade of the final exam of history Caillou, good luck.
You too Leo, hope you get a good grade of the final exam of history, along with Sarah and Clementine. Oh God. Thank God Leo didn't tell me that I got a phone, because if he sees my phone, then he will tell Mrs. Martin and she will expel me, but I should find the question quick before my teacher arrives.
Okay class, time is up. I'm going to collect all of your paper sheet of the final exam of history. Now you no longer write the answers of the questions. Ready or not ready, I will collect all of your answer sheet of the final exam of history. Alright class, now all of your answer sheet of history is now collected. All of you may go now. Class dismissed. Have a nice day, and don't forget about tomorrow. We are having a final exam of math, so keep studying math subject for the final exam. Okay, all of you may go. I see you again on tomorrow. And as for you, Caillou, you are not leave this classroom yet. I have a talk with you after school.
What? What are you gonna tell me that I'm not allowed to leave this classroom while the rest of the students are be able to leave? What do you want to tell me for Mrs. Martin?
So, the reason why you are not leave this classroom yet, because I will grade your answer sheet of the history. And, don't you remember what happened if you fail the history of the final exam?
Oh, I remember. You said if I fail the history of the final exam, then you're gonna tear my history of the final exam answer sheet. If you found out that I didn't study, but I actually studied, is that right?
Exactly, Caillou. I still don't believe you if you study the history or not, because I aware that you write an extremely incorrect answers of the questions of history, so that's why. Besides, I will share your grade of the final exam of history on tomorrow. And, if you got failed, well, I'm not going to expel you after you've failed the final exam of history. Instead, I will give you a detention every day, that's include recess, lunchtime, and after school. So you will no have fun or entertainment during recess, lunchtime, or after school. But not only that, I will also call your parents every day, because you end up with after-school detention. So I don't care if you're cry and get a detention all time every day. So, you just to have found out of your grades on tomorrow. Do you admit it if you're responsible if you failed the final exam of history?
Okay, Mrs. Martin, I understand that if I get a bad grade on my final exam of the history, I will get detention on all time every day. Okay, Mrs. Martin, I will admit my responsible if I failed my history of the final exam.
That's good to hear. Okay, Caillou, you may now free to go. And you just to see your grade of the final exam of history on tomorrow, and I don't care if you're cry about getting a bad grade on your final exam of the history. In fact, that's your responsible. Now why don't you just get the heck out of my classroom and leave the school already? Your parents are now wait for you in the car about 15 minutes. I can't stand to see your stupid bald head. Now leave this classroom.
Okay, Mrs. Martin, I will leave this classroom.
Man. Why do I have to teach that bald kid a lesson? He keeps misbehaving at the school, but now, he is now pretend to be kind or something, and I have to take him to the Christmas school if I found out that his test of the history is failed. Oh well, I should take these answer sheets paper of the final exam of history, and I start to grading these answers sheet. You will not get a bad grade of the history, otherwise I would have to give him a detention all time every day.
Hi Caillou, how was your school today? But wait a second. Caillou, did you do anything trouble in school?
No, Dad, I didn't cause any troubles at school.
Well then, why you have a sad face after you got home from school?
Dad, I know this is very disappointing if I tell you this. After school, my teacher asked me to talk after school without detention. Even though I never cause any trouble at school, she still asked me to talk after school without detention. And she talking about my history final exam grade, and Mrs. Martin have a decision. She said that if I failed my final exam of history, then she said that she will tear my final exam of history and she will take me to the Christmas school until January 2021. But not only that, she also give me a detention all times, that's include recess, lunchtime, and even after school every day. Please Dad, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, I really can't expect why you got talk after school without detention about your grade of the final exam of history, because you told her that you study history for the final exam. Well, do you now realized? Do you even know that not studying for the final exam is a very bad thing? And it can mark all of your subject of final exam F-. And this also make us have our parents meetings on tonight if you didn't study for the final exam. But not only that, this will also send you to the military school, where the places you will never see your family ever again. I'm so disappointed with you Caillou. and I have to take you to the Christmas school if you failed the final exam of history. Now you even more no entertainments and fun at all during your Christmas school. You are grounded for 19 months, and you still have final exam on tomorrow. Now go study for your final exam for tomorrow, or else I will force you to drink hot sauce if you're not study for the final exam. Now go, and don't play anything. You must focus exclusively to the final exam. Now go.
Okay, Dad, I will focus to the final exam.
Okay, now all of my students' answer sheet are graded. It's time to put these grades to my laptop so it can put their grades in their report card. But first, I need to see how many trues of Caillou's answer sheet of history, because I'm not sure if his answer sheet are many mistakes or not. Oh well, I should check Caillou's answer sheet first. Okay, Caillou trues are 5 out of 5 questions, so I calculating him and he get 100, which means he get an A+ in his history of the final exam. What? Caillou's history final exam got A+, while Leo got B+, Sarah got C+, and Clementine got B-. No way. How can Caillou's history final exam got A+ this time? I thought his history final exam was going to have D, or F-, but yet, he got an A+ in his history final exam. I have no idea how Caillou got an A+ in his final exam. He's supposed to get D or bad grades, not an A+, and he passed his final exam in the first time, since he always got a bad grade in the last year of the final exam. And I think Caillou's final exam of the history is very suspicious. I think he just cheated in other way or something. I should know that he never got any A+ in his tests. I'm completely so disappointed with this. That's it. I'm going to report this to Mrs. Clementine about Caillou's final exam of history grades. She's also being suspicious about Caillou's final exam of history if I tell her about this.
Hello, Mrs. Martin. What brings you here to my office today?
Mrs. Clementine, while I was grading my students' answer sheet of the final exam of history, I just realized that Caillou's history final exam got an A+, while the rest of the students are not get an A+ like that. This make me curious that how can Caillou got an A+ in his final exam of his history, and it seems to be suspicious that Caillou's final exam of the history that got an A+.
Mrs. Martin, don't you suppose to be happy if you hear that Caillou just got an A+ in his final exam of his history? I'm so proud of him that he got an A+ in his final exam for the first time. So, why do you feel suspicious of his final exam of the history? There's nothing wrong in Caillou's final exam of the history, and you're supposed to be proud of him. I understand that you think his history of the final exam is very suspicious, but how did you know that Caillou's history of the final exam is very suspicious?
Well, in case if you know of his last year final exam, he never got an A+ in every single of his subject of the final exam, and I don't think I'm proud of him about he passed of his final exam of the history, and it seems that Caillou was cheated so that he can pass the history of the final exam.
I think you're telling a joke about Caillou's final exam of the history. Is that right? I don't think he cheated his final exam of the history, and I'm glad that he just passed his final exam for the first time. Would you like to forget about that and proud of him about he passed the final exam for the first? You don't have to arguing about Caillou's final exam of the history.
Ugh, Mrs. Clementine, I swear on 100%, I don't think Caillou would have got an A+ in his final exam of the history, and Caillou might cheated to get an A+, so you think you proud of him about he passed his final exam of the history. And if you still don't believe me what I just say, we are going to see the footage through the security camera to see if Caillou was cheating or not.
Alright, we are going to check the camera footage to see if Caillou was cheating the final exam of the history or not. But if I found out that Caillou didn't cheat in his final exam of the history, you will be fired for the rest of your life. Come on, Mrs. Martin, what are you gonna stand there for? Let's check the camera footage to see if Caillou was cheat in his final exam or not.
Okay, Now we are going to see if Caillou was cheat in his final exam of the history or not. I seriously tell the truth, Mrs. Clementine.
Ugh, just forget about that. Just open the security camera footage right now, and I will see if Caillou was really cheat the final exam or not.
Okay, Mrs. Clementine, I will open the security camera right now. Okay, we now see Caillou was entered to the school to get ready for the final exam. He have a scheming face when he entered to the school. Caillou was going to take his thing in the pocket, then, he's gonna have.
Straight. That thing Caillou uses to make his phone invisible so he can't cheat in his history of the final exam without studying. I can't believe that nobody found any way to cheat for the final exam. And Mrs. Martin, I'm very sorry for not believing you, and I thought his history of the final exam is a plus. I'm so going to call his parents right now.
I'm going to the shop to buy. But wait a second, I think I got a phone call. I should answer it. Hello, this is Boris Anderson, Caillou's father. Who is this?
Hello Boris, this is the principal of the Go City Elementary School, Mrs. Clementine. I hate to say this, Boris, your son's grade of the history of the final exam is now F- and he failed the history of the final exam.
Wait a second, I thought my son told me that he studied hard for the final exam. And how did you know that his grade of the history is F-?
Well, your son has a new way to cheat besides of cheating from the others' answers. And when he entered to the school, got a phone with the things that is unknown or not found yet, and he used those things to cheat. And I will give you this straight, the things that Caillou use and it's unknown is used to make his phone invisible so we can't caught him for cheating the final exam of the history. And his teacher grade your son's final exam of the history, and he got an plus, but actually, that is cheating. He was going to have an F- in his final exam of the history.
Oh my freaking god, I can't believe my son came up with the idea of turned his phone into invisible to cheat for the final exam. He won't get away with this. Don't worry, Mrs. Clementine, I will deal this problem with my son. Thank you for notifying me about this.
No problem, Boris. Oh, and before I hang up, your son will be obliged to go to Christmas school after school year was ended, because if he don't come to Christmas school after school year ended, he will automatically expelled from the school. And also, I forgot to tell you that, since your son got an F- in his history of the final exam, his teacher tear his answer sheet of the history, and he received detention every day. That's include recess, lunchtime, and after school. So, I will call you every day about your son, since he receive a lot of detention in all times, except class time.
Wow, he received serious consequences from his teacher. Caillou will be so dead right now. And thank you for notifying me again about this.
No problem, Boris. Bye.
Oh my goodness. What is it, Dad? Is there something wrong?
Don't you dare pretend like nothing happened in here. I'm so mother of freaking shoot. Caillou, I can't freaking believe you came up with the idea to use an invisible phone to cheat for the final exam. Did you know that there's a rules of Go City that all schools are not allowed to bring their electronics to the school, because it can make them concentrate when their teacher teaches them the lesson for school. And your principal said that your teacher has tiered your answer sheet of the final exam of the history for getting an F- in your history of the final exam. But not only that, you also have detention every day, including
not a punishment day. Please Dad, don't give me a punishment day. Anything but that.
Your punishment must punishment day, and that's final. But before I start your punishment day, I'm going to call your mom and Rosie about your actions in school. Hey honey and Rosie, can you guys come here for a second? We have another problem with Caillou.
Oh no, what did Caillou do this time? And please don't tell me he got an F- in history of the final exam.
Exactly honey, he got an F- in his final exam of the history, because he came up with the idea by using an invisible phone to cheat for the final exam. And his teacher tear his answer sheet of the final exam of history, and he gets a detention every day. That's include recess, lunchtime, and after school. But not only that, he also have to go to Christmas school after the school year ended. Because if he don't come to Christmas school, his teacher will expel him. And we are going to give Caillou a punishment day for getting an F- in his history of the final exam.
Oh my god, Caillou. No one would ever came up with the idea of yours. And I can't believe you got an F- on history of the final exam.
I agreed with you, Sister Rosie. Doing like that will get you an F- and expelled from school. Satisfied for being relaxed in the house without study for the final exam?
Now we don't want to waste our time to stand in here. Let's get start with your punishment day. First punishment, me, your mom, and Rosie will throw a brick on your head until you get blood out. Because after you got blood out, you will get a next punishment. Get ready, Caillou.
Oh my god, that was so freaking hurt. Please stop, throw the brick. Oh my god, that was so freaking hurt. Now, my blood come out.
Shut up, Caillou. This is what you get for cheat for the final exam. Now let's move on. You will going to have a next punishment.
Second punishment, you will get crushed by the piano. Okay honey, drop the piano now.
Your pleasure, Doris.
That was so freaking hurt. Mom, Dad, and Rosie, please help me.
Now get in that wall, Caillou.
Okay Dad.
Now stay there and don't go anywhere.
Wait, Dad, why are you tape me?
Well, Caillou, I duct tape you because your next punishment I will throw a syringe to your eyes, and you eyes will have a lot of blood out.
No! Oh no! I don't want my eyes to get the blood out! Please, Dad! Don't do it! What?
I don't care. I will throw a syringe to your eyes and that's final. So here goes nothing. Okay, Caillou, now open your eyes, or else I will assault you.
Ouch! 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 That was so. Now my eyes has blood out. What?
Fourth punishment, drinking a hot sauce. Now drink it or else there will be more brutal and violent punishment for you.
Fifth punishment, have taking a blood shower. Now get in the shower. We already set the shower as a blood, regardless of the types that you want to take a shower.
Oh my freaking god, I can't believe I'm doing this because all of you.
Okay, Caillou, your next punishment will drink all of the blood until it's nothing left. Drink it.
Oh my freaking god, this kind of blood is really freaking disgusting, and I about to throw it up.
Seventh punishment, jump into the sea.
Dad, I don't think this is not a punishment. Besides, this punishment is not bad.
Well, just look that see for yourself.
Okay. What? You got to be kidding me. There's no way I would ever jump to the sea that has 2 sharks. Dad, can you please not let me jump to the sea and get bit by those sharks? I don't want to get bitten by those sharks.
Too bad, Caillou, because this is your responsible for cheat of the final exam of history. Jump to the sea right now.
Jump to the sea right now or else I will force myself to push you to the sea. Jump, now.
Okay, Dad. I will jump to the sea.
Eat punishment. Eat a food in the trash bin.
What? Are you kidding me? I don't want to eat these foods from the trash. It will make me throw the food if you told me to eat these foods from the trash.
You'd better eat the foods from the trash right now or else we will cut your private parts off. Now start eat.
Okay, Dad. I will eat the foods from the trash. Oh, my God, these kind of food is really disgusting. It will make me throw up.
9th punishment, beat you up with the belt.
Oh, no, not the belt.
Tenth punishment, I will hit your head with the hammer.
No, Dad, please don't hit me with my hammer.
Say all you want, Caillou.
11th punishment, burn all of your DVD collections.
No, Mom, please don't burn all of my DVD collections. I will buy these new DVDs if you burn my DVD collections.
First of all people in Go City hate your show because you are an extremely immature kid. And second of all, this is what you get for cheat for the final exam of history. I will burn all of your DVDs collections and that's final. So here goes nothing.
No. No, my DVDs collections has been burned. Now I have to buy a new one because of you guys.
Shut up, Caillou. This is what you get for cheat the final exam of the history, but you still have more punishments. Now let's go inside.
12th punishment. Let me bite your bald head.
Oh my god, that is so Please stop it, Rosie! What?
13th punishment, harshly shoot with knife in your ear.
Ouch, that was freaking What?
Okay, Caillou, for your 14th and final punishment, kill you with using AK-47.
Holy crap, my dad is going to kill me with Alaska 47. Please, Dad, don't kill me. I'm so sorry for what have I done, Dad. Just don't kill me, please.
Shut up, Caillou. I'm going to kill you by using AK-47 and that's final. So, have fun to sent to hell after you got killed, and you will receive the lot of tortures in hell. So, goodbye, Caillou. We all hate you. There, that bald idiot deserved to get killed for cheat the final exam of the history.